Cleaned out another old workbench for somebody. Had to hoard up some stuff. So of course I've got to share it with you guys. I'm Timmy, and this is 3 Old Tech Dudes. I'm Tim KB9SNL, and here on 3 Old Tech Dudes, Nathan, Justin, and I have had the opportunity to clean out or help clean up basement workbench areas, not once but now twice here in the local area. Somebody will catch wind of what we like to do on the channel and the things we look at, and they go, hey, we've got some electronic stuff we were not sure what to do with. Would you guys like to have it? And that's a pretty hard thing to turn down, especially with our tendency to want to look through everything and save things, so electronics in general. So I've got a stash here that I recently acquired that we need to have a look at and just see what we've got real quick, and hopefully give you guys a preview of what's on the channel. Of course, the video from a couple years ago, I think it was in 2021, which you can watch up here in the corner, where we got an even bigger amount of items than what you'll see today. We've barely brushed the surface of that collection as well. We've looked at a tube tester, code oscillator, and that may be it from that set. So, but there's a lot more to go through from that one as well in the future. So let's get started digging through here and just see what we've got. Okay, what we have here, and I was in a pretty big hurry when we loaded this, just trying to get things done. We have a battery eliminator and charger, I guess. This looks very similar to one from that other collection. I'll put a clip of that in here. It's a variable power supply, the other one. This appears to be a basic battery eliminator. I wonder how many amps it supports. Does it say? Oh, it does vary voltage a bit. That's crusty sounding though. It's an ICO 1060S, 6 volts or 12. Okay, 20 amps at 6 and 10 amps at 12. Cool. It's got a couple of meters here. Previous owner, who is unfortunately deceased now, got some probably for me a lifetime supply of old solder. Both forms there, very nice. This fella had a lot of sorted trays of items here, so it's kind of general semiconductor items. A lot of resistors. Phono stylus is fun. I don't know, not everything that's in these drawers is actually what's in them, it looks like. Some of it is. So we'll add that to the collection. A lot of this stuff I want to go through and just sort and see what I can use for my own workbench. And the rest I don't know what I'll do with. Hamfest fodder perhaps. Got us an old scope. Old oscilloscope. Property of Sarkis Tarzian. That was a company up north of us in Bloomington, Indiana, owned WTTV Channel 4 for many years, till the late 70s. And the company still exists and owns 92.3 WTTS and a couple other radio stations that are still on the air. So, interesting that had a history there at some point. What brand? It's Tektronix. Okay. Interesting. So, looks like a pretty nice old scope. Probably not super high bandwidth. Don't know anything about it. Curious if it's tube type though. Oh yeah. You can see tubes in there if you look real close. Got one back in there reflecting, so it's got some age on her. But I knew that. Wouldn't be 3 Old Tech Dudes if the stuff wasn't old. There was just a lot of general items here. I helped pack these. I don't even remember what's in all of them. Project boards, maybe. Oh, that's interesting. Look like button pads for something. Televisions, I bet. It's got an RCA part number on it. This guy worked at a company that repaired electronics. He must have worked there a long time. He's got a lot of age on this. Is this a color board for a color television? Maybe. New old stock RCA parts, I bet. But I'm just speculating. Sisters. What are you now? Oh. Well, how about that? Oh, that's wild. This guy is kind of like that last collection. There's television components and radio components that are vintage. Some more Motorola semiconductors. I'll have to look those up. Little transformer. Random knob. I need that someday, you know. So, came across two of these identical no-name brand radios. I'll have to dig up that brand, see if I can find out where it came from or what it was. Two radios from the 60s, it looks like. Guess they're complete. They have the same power cord, more or less, so that's cool. I add those to the fix it and do something with the stash. Yeah, here. Oh, those speakers, fun. Okay. Nifty. Oh, some mouse turds. You gotta have, you know, the mice love this with radio equipment as much as anyone. Maybe I'd get along with them if they could speak. I don't know. What's in here? It's upside down, isn't it? Oh, snap. 2 DC voltmeters. Is that really what's here? Well, how about that? Simple DC voltmeters. Milliamps, I assume. Direct current. Well, or is it? Just straight up volts, not millivolts or whatnot. Pinkies. Oh, good lord. Well, you know, gotta hide them where you gotta hide them, I guess. TV bias supply, huh? Cool. UEL vacuum tube voltmeter. This fella's daughter, who I went to high school with, said he kept everything, and I do believe some of these items are in the collection here. I don't think that first one was. I think his voltmeter might be. There's a manual for that. Get hold of that. No, that's in the set. Some schematics. That looks like old PhotoFax schematic. Actually, no. It is a schematic. Huh, that's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Hey, that's the manual for that. Cool. I think it is. It was 1060S. Wasn't it? You guys remember? Well, sure enough. Oh, cool. Okay. PTS Electronics. That was the name of the place the guy worked. That still exists. Cathode ray tubes. 3-inch, 2-inch. Now, I saw that box. I thought that won't be what's in there. But check this out, guys. Look at that. Vintage. CRT tubes. Old school ones. For scopes and the like, I'm sure. Those are really neat. This little fella's. Precision Aerotronics Corp. Be holding on to those. I was fortunate to get some of this fella's, you know, well organized wire stuff here. Simple power supply here, it looks like. 4.5, 9 volt, 6 volt, 12 volt. Actually could be useful on my bench. Got a utility cabinet, old RCA project cabinet. Looks like one you can make power supply out of, maybe. That is what's in the box. he did have some unused project stuff. There's another Archer case, digital display case in this situation here. That's pretty cool. So, build you a clock or something. Maybe we will someday. Maybe we'll just go Arduino like everyone else. Some sort of module or something else. Oh, ha! Oh yeah, we can groove now. Put up the mood for that other item we found a minute ago, you know. Gold and heavy gold. Oh, wah wah. If I needed those like I needed to be on fire, not at all. Alright, let's keep it going. I got some randoms here. Yeah. Some pots, some copper pieces. Yeah. CB parts. Oh boy. T-plug, like using ham radio stuff. What are you now? I don't know what that is. Some sort of coax or something. Kind of weird angle. Smells like an antenna. It's got a hole in it. Maybe just a piece of tubing or something. Yeah. So that's just some components and pieces and such. Brackets maybe. Yeah, maybe part of a power supply. Old Sears one that I ran across that we'll get to, I'm sure, here. What are you? Oh. Maybe the back of a thermostat or something. New tones. Okay. And under that there's just another component box with various items in it, switches and such. Okay, next tote. Oh yeah, this is the first one we loaded. It's got a lot of little things. So Nathan laid claim to this immediately. This is a Sinclair 16K RAM module. In this case, it's not for a ZX81. We'll find what it's for here in a second. You know, I gotta keep that out for him. There's a roll of ribbon conductors, probably for television sets back in the day. We're not gonna go through all this. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I pulled these out of a box where he'd been saving ICs. A lot of them were labeled RCA, such as that one there. Just, you know, thought I might poke through those one of these days. Got some, you know, random fixer-upper items. This could be useful. They polarized? They may not be polarized. Okay. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of stuff like this. You know, you can use those. Those are often used inside old television sets. Wiring tracking, we could use those for things too. He had hanging under a shelf for probably since it was new, this Sears Road Talker 40 with single sideband. You know, when I look at a lot of these places, and this speaks to how ubiquitous Citizens Band was in its heyday in the late 70s and early 80s, you don't find a lot of ham radio gear, but I bet I have 50 or 60 Citizens Band radios in storage right now. I mean, the house we did in 2021 helped clean out the basement. I think we got 20 of them from that. This is, I think, the only one. There may have been one other one, but this it was complete. You know, it had an external speaker mount, and we'll put a picture of that here, and some things like that. So, it is 40 channel, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Of course, that's why it's a 40, Road Talker 40, I'm sure. SWR alert, that's kind of high end. You can see that on everything. Very cool. There was no antenna anymore, but there was, because he had antennas on some ductwork. I thought this was neat. It may have come with that originally. It is not what it was attached to. This was on a different shelf, but it's a simple, small Sears power supply, not unlike the one Nathan and I redid. It's labeled the same, to AC power supply. It seemed to be a Sears thing, but it would put out 13.8 volt. So, I wonder if this one's as noisy as that one. We'll have to get into that and see. So, that's pretty nifty. It matches the radio too. So, where did a simple SWR meter we could clean up for, with a field strength tester with the little antenna still intact. Nifty. Okay. Got some 80s, early 90s goodness with some very old school headset with orange foam. I think the set when I was a little kid that my dad had that. That's kind of fun. I don't know when this is from. The 80s, probably. 80s, early 90s. Ooh, graphic equalizer. And AM/FM radio. Hot dog. Okay. Oh, here's another one. Oh, it's just a radio, huh? Sure. Sheratone. AM/FM MPX. Oh, that's got some 8 on it. Separate left and right volume controls. Well, that sure looks like one we had when I was a kid. I wonder if those headphones went with that. That's worth investigating. Oh, wow. Yeah, obligatory spare cables and wires. Here it is. Let's save this for our buddy Nathan. He's going to be excited. He already knows it's around. This is a Sinclair ZX80. We've done the ZX81 on the channel. This one's the one that came out in 1980 just before. Don't know all the differences. Oh, that's cool. It's got the inputs and everything. Connector for the RAM. ZX80 USA, so it is the USA version. These were originally British machines. Oh, we got the manual. Oh, he worked on it too. I bet this was sitting in a nice stack in a corner with all these items on top of it. That's the last name of the family that worked it. Oh, this may have been the kit. This may have been the kit, but I'm not sure. Then it has this ZX81 basic book, which would more or less apply to this radio as well, or computer as well. Got radio on the brain, guys. Unless the rest of what's in here, components and meters and good things like that. Yeah, new in box. Oh, the glare is just wrong, isn't it? The lampers, DC, cool. Okay. I'll tell you what, I don't think there's anything else of merit in this. This was kind of the catch-all one we started out with, so if I found it, I put it in there. Oh, wait a minute, that's untrue. Let's here's some. Oh, Nathan's working on a video on stuff like this from Radio Shack, I think. Digital ones, though. Very neat. Time leader, run across that. There's a standard run-of-the-mill older digital multimeter, and a soldering iron set. U-bolts, I love U-bolts. You can use those for lots of stuff. And what were you now? I think this might have been a multimeter as well. Yeah, Keithley digital multimeter. All stuff to look for in the future on the channel here. We're going to go through them. And here's our next tote. I did remember seeing this. The girl said her dad kept this next to his computer for years. Ooh, that is neat. I'll have to do a whole video on this or something. It's a Sears C1. Nathan wondered if it was like an old Commodore rebadge, because Sears did rebadge a lot of stuff. See if we get any clues here before we get too deep. Nope, not really. Let's get inside and have a look at that eventually. For now, it's got to live with the other items. We are super backlogged, and I haven't made enough videos to keep up, so I'm sure you'll see these soon enough. Heathkit motor speed control. Okay, sure. Why not? More project box toys. Sweet. Oh, with a lid. There's a use for that. Oh yeah. Some television parts. Older 300 ohm to 75 ohm converters and VCR cables. Stuff like that. So, hold on to that. Metal project box. Actually, that may be more useful. Might be able to put my tingler for fox hunting in that. This, what are you now? Oh, you're like a That's a chainsaw sharpener, I think. You can take on the go on 12 volts. Well, that's how he's got it rigged up. Alright, well that doesn't matter much. Looks like we have a code oscillator fella built. Real simple one. Yeah, got a couple transistors there. How's this code key? How the shape's that in? Ooh, found me a new code key. I only have a garbage one you guys saw in the night oscillator video. You can see up in the corner here now. Or linked in the description below. Another big project box. It's a heavy fella, but it's still empty. RCA to F females. Yep. Looks like rotor or actually maybe rotor cable, but probably thermostat cable. There's a project and a project box. What we got here? 2 knobs. Oh, can we figure out? It takes 2 9-volt batteries. A little speaker. Makes you think oscillator of some sort. That board looks like it's custom. Whew. We'll save that one for figuring it out. We're going to have to do an investigative on some of these things. AC clamp meter. Random cable pieces. This is a mount for that Sears CB radio that I showed earlier. Bumper mount. Feels heavy, but it still is one. Oh yeah. Big spring bumper mount for CB radio antennas. Or 10 meters, or ham antennas. You can put a ham stick on that. 20 or 40. Maybe I'll do that someday. Alright, we'll get to this next tote here. We're getting some of the better things we located there. More project boxes. Can't have enough. Oh. Build this triggered scope. Radio Electronics, April 1980. What? I wonder if he built that at some point. Wonder if we could build that at some point. Okay. Modular hi-fi components. Yeah, alright, that's fun. Kind of useless now, but, you know. I found these. These look like Zenith television speakers, big ones. Oh, they're wrapped. These are probably not useful for anything, but I thought it was fun. He screwed them together to protect them. Sure, why not? Oh! Here we have the ICO 324 signal gen. This will probably join my used collection, as I do not have, I have a Knight that's in rough shape. I know Nathan has the same Knight I do, but his is clean. This could be very useful for aligning radios, for example. You can set it down to 450 kilohertz or kilocycles, as they said it back in the day for years. So that will probably restore another radio or two before the day. Oh, and it's got the probes, even better. So a lot of times those are not there. Another Radio Shack project box. Got a deluxe window cabinet. It was originally $5.95, and I'm sure that's the catalog number on top of that. Yep, sure is. Oh, back when people actually bought things to project on. What do we have here? Conair. Is that the same brand that was on those radios? I wonder if those were kit radios built for a school, for electronic school. Could be. It's not the same brand, it's similar. That feels kit-like too, to be honest. I thought there was one other Citizens band radio in this set. Midland 77, 8 and 9. Full digital tuning. I think I ran across one of these as a teenager ones. Dark analog meter, that's fun. Straight 40 channels, I'm sure. Yep. No, has SWR meter on it, but no no side bands. Original microphone though, nice. Okay, let me fix him up and do something with him someday. Like 900 others. Typical external speaker. A realistic external speaker. Sure see a lot of these. I've actually got the screws in it for the stand. I don't think I have any with a stand. Neat. Is this another one of those? National Radio Institute. Boy, I bet those were kits he built. I'd love to find an unbuilt kit like that for a tube radio. Yes, they are both 212s. Man alive. You know, now we do that in IT. You do things in software like you do in electronics back in the day. I think we saw the manual for this earlier. Yeah, I was correct. Yeah. Another nice. Actually, that's a vacuum 2-volt meter. VTVM. Very cool. Very cool. Got probes. Don't want to lose those. But those literally are these probes. Keep all that together. Very nice. And I found this cool dude. UEL also. This is a simple little scope. A little bit of CRT burn in it from the line, so you can run a little bright maybe. That one's pretty neat. Cool. Oh, we're going to go through this guy. I've got some other scopes I want to go through. I think you guys will enjoy. You know what? That's just about it, except for this. Oh, yeah. This just had some phone cables and stuff in it, and computer parts, and another UEL item, looks like. This is just a multimeter here for sure. Yeah, there's resistance, voltage, AC, DC. So yeah, United Electronical Labs, Louisville, Kentucky, huh? Battery changed, 8 of 1974. Woo! Alright, well, we better look at that battery before we do anything with that. Yeah, not much there. And I got these things, but I think these are just in my garage. I know where the CD player came from. I don't know where the monitor came from. Who knows? Some bin that somebody let me dig in probably once. Last but certainly not least, here we have a Philco Super Het from the early 30s Cathedral. Some of you who follow us on our Facebook page probably saw the photo post I took the day that I found these. That's so cool. She's a little rough though. My friend Tom, K9ATS, here in our ham club, our home club, he has one of these. I believe he has restored or working. I know Phil from antiqueradio.org, Phil's Old Radios, has one of these. I think it's a rather desirable unit. It's got the arch. That would have went up here originally. This has got the other trim piece. This is a good restorable here. I've got an Atwater Kent Cathedral as well. I've already started shooting a video on for you guys. I'd like to see it running first due to the fact that I already had an even older Atwater Kent 20 battery radio. And it's really cool to find one of the Atwater Kent TR Super Heterodyne radios. Which they didn't make all that many of before they closed up shop because they couldn't compete with the likes of Philco, for example. So we'll get to all these. It may be over the next 10 years, but we're going to get to everything. We're going to keep at it. Hey, we sure appreciate you guys watching the channel. It's a little bit different than our fix-it-up content that we've been doing a lot of lately with tube gear and ham radio stuff. Our three biggest audiences here on Three Old Tech Dudes are amateur radio, followed by the antique radio repair guys, and a lot of that's guys who did it years ago, and maybe they're checking in on a millennial like me. Of course, I'm in the old half of that group, who were very familiar with this, and I'm trying to carry on some of that, along with many others on YouTube. And vintage computers, which Nathan's especially fond of. I like them as well. And you got all kinds of stuff sprinkled in by Justin, who is a great technical mind and likes to do software stuff primarily and work with phones and jukeboxes and the like. So hopefully we'll see more of that content on the channel in the future as well. Hey, until next time, I'm Timmy. We'll see you soon on Three Old Tech Dudes.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on Three Old Tech Dudes. Please subscribe to us here on YouTube for more tech old and new, tinkering at the workbench, repairs, ham radio, electronics, computers, and more. Please like this video and share 3OTD with your friends to help us grow the channel. We tweet at 3 Old Tech Dudes 1 on Twitter, and you can keep up with us on Facebook. Just search for 3OTD and look for our logo. Thanks so much for watching.